You're about to enjoy a Cloudcast original. Local stories, local storytellers, local brands.
Have you ever felt that you as a woman may not appear to measure up when you see incredible women in strong roles? You may be surprised when hearing from women in these positions and how we all share many of the same challenges. Thank you for joining us for the SheEO Leading In podcast with Rebecca Jones as we share the journeys of women.
Hello, I'm Rebecca Jones, your host of SheEO. We are on an exploration together to discover more about the personal journeys of incredible women in both career and life. We all have paths to share that sometimes take incredible turns, deep resilience, and courage to navigate. My hopes are that the challenges shared here encourage women to take leaps of faith and growth when a journey feels too difficult or unachievable. There is great strength deep within each one of us. These stories are meant to share the ways strong women have taken their dreams to strive and thrive to new heights, despite their sometimes rocky paths, and found a way to lead in. Today, we are here with Stacey Zayas, the owner and founder of Smooth Bar. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's so exciting to hear what you've been doing, what you've been up to. Why don't you share a little bit about what you do and what a normal day looks like for you?
Right now, let's see. So a normal day is we own a salon called the Smooth Bar. And currently my daughter, Haley Zayas, is running it. So she's there on the day-to-day, doing the day-to-day things, and then I'm doing more building the business on the other end.
Wonderful. So it's smoothing hair. So is it for the crazy girls, the crazy hair like me, where it's just almost either an afro or naturally very curly? Mine tends to be very curly. However, it's very frizzy as well, which we don't like that. And, you know, when we've got days like today where it's raining outside, it just goes.
Yeah.
So tell us, what made you even come up with the thought of doing this? I don't know. Is your hair curly? Because
it's not. I have frizz for sure. Everyone I think has frizz. But so I've been a hairdresser now for unbelievably 33 years. And it's something I started doing probably 12 or 13 years ago. I started getting into the smoothing part of the industry. And I found that pretty much anyone and everyone can benefit from it. Because whether your hair's curly or frizzy, everyone has issues with the texture of their hair at some point, especially with, like you said, the weather or the humidity. So it became such a big part of my business, and it grew and grew, that it was really the number one service in our salon, and it became it just like took over the salon basically. And so one of the things that we found with that service, though, is it does produce fumes. And that was a challenge because we had 6 chairs, we had 6 stylists doing it, and it was like super fumy and smoky, and it just was not a good, safe atmosphere. So the space opened next to us that I had an idea that what if we took all the smoothing clients and made it a space just for that next door. We could put in fume extracting systems and just make it more of a healthier environment for the stylist and for the clients. So we experimented with some things. We worked with the HVAC guy, and we came up with this idea. And so the whole salon is equipped with a fume extraction system, so that the fumes and the smoke were no longer affecting the clients and the stylists. And that's really kind of how it began. And it was just, again, it was such a popular service that I then had to start hiring stylists, because the stylists were going back and forth between doing hair cuts and colors and then going next door and doing smoothing treatments to, I just hired a whole nother staff that just exclusively did smoothing treatments because we were so busy. So, because no one else has done that. And that's just been it's such a wonderful thing to be able to make it a safe and healthy environment for clients and staff.
Yeah, the fumes are overwhelming.
They can
I didn't
be,
even know you
yeah.
did that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you met with this HVAC guy and you said, "Hey, let's think outside the box,
Right.
come up with something for me." And you did it. That
Mm-hmm.
is so cool. I love that. And do you even have a background in that?
I don't. I have no background in that, but and then we opened another salon in the Carmel Mountain Ranch area, and we even expanded on that idea. So we made it even better, and put some of the stuff that we used in the first one that didn't work so well, and then we've updated it to the new system. And I feel like we could even do better the next time.
So you did mention a little bit earlier that you were going to. So with how many locations do you have right now?
We currently only have one.
Okay.
We closed the Hillcrest location. We merged it with the Carmel Mountain, and that is our only location right now.
But you have plans.
We do. We have big plans. So it took about a year actually to work with a company to help us put together a franchise. We did our FDD and all the paperwork that goes with it, and so now we're able to sell franchises. So that's been taking me in a totally different direction of not being behind the chair anymore, and trying to build that part of the business and get the word out of what we do, who we are. It's been awesome that I have my daughter, Haley, who can do the day-to-day running the salon and be there and take care of that part of it.
What an evolution. So did you always have your own shop or did you start in someone else's shop?
I started in someone else's shop. I did it right out of school. I assisted for many stylists. I was a booth renter for a couple years. And then one of the girls I worked with, we thought we could do it better somewhere else. And so we rented this little space in University Heights. It's funny, story is neither one of us had any sort of business background whatsoever. And it's embarrassing, but I think it's good to note that when we did this, we had no idea. We didn't have a name for the business. We didn't even know we needed a business license. That's kind of embarrassing, but we literally just had this idea of we can do better, and our husbands helped us put it together and get it open, and we opened it as a partnership, and it was just the two of us. Yeah.
See, now that's cool because all of the young women and the people that are listening to this can say, "Oh, I guess I could do this too." And I think that is very inspiring and interesting how you kind of navigate through the system, not even know. And now you're starting franchises.
Yeah,
that is really cool.
Pretty crazy. Yeah. We've come a long way. I've learned so much along the way. I have no business backgrounds. I barely graduated high school. I did, but I barely. And just learning along the way. I've surrounded myself with as many, people as I can that can help me in my journey. And I'm just learning constantly.
I say I'm going to learn something until I die.
Yeah,
Every day there's something new, and I love that. I think that is so cool. So, Stacey, as a person, not a business owner, do you have just something that really affected you when you were a kid, like a cool story, a fun story that maybe people don't know about you, just to kind of break the ice here of you as a person?
Well, I think this is pretty funny. So I never was into doing hair or beauty whatsoever when I was a kid. I just, a lot of girls grow up, I want to do hair. They're into their makeup and stuff. That was not me.
So you didn't have a Barbie head?
I did have a Barbie head,
did.
but I wasn't doing my own hair. I wasn't doing my friend's hair. And so it wasn't even on my radar. Like I said, I wasn't the best academic student. So I was just so grateful to even just get through high school. And my mom said, and I was working a part-time job through high school, and my mom came to me and said, "So what are you going to do when you graduate?" And I said, "I don't know. I'm just going to enjoy life, And she said, "Well, I'll make you a deal. If you go to college, you don't have to pay rent." And I was just so shocked. I'm like, "What do you mean I have to pay rent? What rent?" So I was just so taken back by that. I said, "Well, I'm going to go to college, but I'm going to do something super easy, the easiest thing I can find in college." So I went to San Diego City College. got the pamphlet and just looked through it, just literally find the class that would be the easiest. And I picked cosmetology. I didn't even know what cosmetology meant. But I picked it because there was one book required for the year. It was a year program, only one book. And I thought, I can do that. That seems so easy. And, not a lot of book work. And so I totally did it because I was just trying to get my mom off my back. And I ended up just falling in love with the industry. And I got very lucky. And I just ended up just being so passionate about it by chance, really. Like, it wasn't something that I grew up wanting to do.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be.
It just was meant
See,
to
moms are smart.
Yeah, for sure.
If it wasn't for her, I don't know what I'd be doing now.
It was the whole rent conversation.
Exactly. I was like, I can't believe she's going to make me pay rent for my own room.
Right?
But,
I had to pay rent too.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So she kept her end of the deal, though. I didn't have to pay rent while I was going to school.
That is so awesome. So how do you measure success? And that's, I know that's a loaded question, but what is success to you? Because you have come a long way. First, you were working for someone else, then you went out on your own, not knowing what you were doing, but, navigating through it. And now, then you started, I love the story about how you started Smooth Bar. And then also the whole part about the extraction and making the air cleaner and safer. That is really neat. And then, now making it a franchise. I think that, oh my gosh, that's an incredible inspirational story, really. I love it. But what is success to you? I mean, when you look back at all of those different benchmarks in your career, what do you think? Okay, well, that seems like success and that seemed like success. I know that's loaded, but what do you think about that?
Success. I don't really know how to answer that other than I think I just try to do little things and celebrate each moment of accomplishment, I guess. So, I that's one thing that drives me is I never feel quite content. I'm always feeling like there's something better. It could be better. It could be just like I was saying with the extraction system. I'm always feeling like, yeah, it's really good and we're the only salon that offers that and has that, but I know it could be better. So that really drives me. And I think every time I do something that I haven't done before, to me, that's success.
That's so great. So have you ever failed at anything?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yes. So many things. I mean, like I said, even just from when I opened the business, didn't even know what I needed to do it. Just kind of blindly just said, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do it. So I would say lots of failures, but more lessons, I would say, is a failure, because I don't think anything's really stopped me. If anything, it might have set me back a little bit, but it just gave me that encouragement to then figure it out. I'm always trying to figure stuff out. I love that. I love trying to figure people out. I love to try to figure situations out that I don't know anything about.
So you're curious.
Really I'm very curious. I'm very curious. Yeah.
So, well, then that just leads me to the next question that I really want to know. Do you have one word that you think that fits you? It might be curious. I don't know. I don't know what you were thinking.
Curious is definitely one, but this is a funny story, I think, is that when we were going through this recently, this whole workshop to really fine-tune what our vision, our mission, and our values were for the Smooth Bar. And one of the exercises was they had some people look at our business model and give us like one-word answers of to describe us. And one of the words was scrappy. And at first I was kind of offended by that, or not offended, but I was like, scrappy? That's not I didn't think of it as a very pretty word or whatever. But I think I've embraced that. Because now when I think of scrappy, I'm like, I think it does suit me, is that I'm willing to just kind of do whatever I need to do to get what I want to accomplish done. And so I think scrappy is a great word now.
For sure. Well, and it's so you don't take no for an answer. You go, oh, I have an obstacle. Well, I'm going to get around that obstacle.
Yeah.
And you keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
So you know what, when you said scrappy, the first thing I thought of, and this will date me, was Scrappy Doo from
Excellent. Yes.
Scooby Doo.
Yes.
But you are. I mean, you are scrappy. I mean, the fact that you went, oh, I don't, the fumes are kind of bothering us. Let's try to think of something. Just really saying, instead of, oh, accepting it, you went, oh, well, I think there's a better way to do that.
Yeah.
And that you keep pushing forward and trying to find a better way. That's important. And, the fact that you don't have a business background, which a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And I even find more today than ever that people are changing their careers and they're being more flexible. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, my dad always did the same thing. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, but my dad always did the same thing his entire career. Never changed. He might have worked for different companies, but he never really changed. It's not like that anymore. I mean, a lot of people are being very more intentional of, oh, okay, I tried that and now I'm not going to. And you starting out in hair, even though it's a shift, it was in the same general category, but a shift from everything to smooth bar is a pretty big shift. I mean, really within the industry.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and then finding better ways to do that. So I think that's a great thing. So being a mom, your kids are older now, but kind of even just being a wife and all of that, how do you balance it all? It's pretty tough at times, isn't it?
It is. I think that's a struggle that I think most people are always trying to find that balance. And sometimes I feel like I have it and sometimes I don't. One thing that's helped me, though, is to be able to ask for help and delegate. There's just things now that I've realized that I'm not as good at as other things. So I try to delegate those to people who are better or have the time, like with Haley. Thank goodness she's a part of it, but she's so good at so many things that I'm just not. And so it's a great balance with that, is I can give her those things and then take on the other things that she's not able to do.
Well, and that's part of being a team.
Yes.
So as a leader, you can't do it all yourself. It's impossible.
It is.
To be able to look around and say, okay, I see something in someone else that's part of my team that can hopefully pick up that slack because I'm not really good at it. And it's okay to say that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you're sharing that. So how many people do you have working for you now?
Right now there's 6.
Okay. And
only 6.
Is it all females or do you have a...
It is. It is.
Okay.
We have 6 stylists, and then my husband does he helps me a lot. He's not in the salon, but he helps me with the business side of it,
Right.
So
yeah. So, okay, it's not easy to work with your husband. I know that. Tell me, do you ever have any issues with that and finding the balance? I mean, I'm sure you do. Is there any secret that you want to share, a little nugget of wisdom on that?
I don't know if I have a nugget of wisdom, but we have somehow been able to find that balance, and I don't know really the secret behind that. Luckily, he's an engineer. So he thinks very differently than I do. He's very planned, wants to know all the details and very planned out things. I'm more of a mindset of I have an idea. I don't know, it just sounds good. Let's just go do it. So luckily, I think it's a really great balance because he grounds me. He gets me kind of more focused on a path. But I have these really good and fun ideas, and I'm very driven. So he's a little slower pace, and I'm just no, I know what I want. I know I'm going to just go. So it's a good balance that way.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and it's true. Usually men and women, not always, but many times, it seems like you're attracted to someone that's different than you.
Right.
Someone that's too much the same, it just doesn't seem to mesh.
It'd be a mess
right?
if he was as kind of free-spirited as I was, or
right?
if I was.
Oh my gosh, yes. So, do you have any role models or mentors that you can look back and say, yeah, they really pushed me, or they really inspired me, or anything like that?
Really, I would say my mom. my mom was a single mom, a single parent, raising me, and she was another one. I would say she was very scrappy. She was very resourceful, let's say. And so she did things differently. And I think I learned a lot of that from her. It was okay to do things differently than other people do them. She was actually one of the first women to graduate and get her electrician's license in San Diego.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
she was the first woman to graduate from her course anyway. And she had her little pink toolbox as an electrician. And that was awesome because, she just didn't let the fact that no one had done that, no woman had done that from that school before stop her. And that was exciting. And I think I admired that, or I do admire that. And she still has that little pink toolbox. It's so funny.
A little pink toolbox. That is amazing. Is she still in the industry or no?
She's not. No, she's retired. She's done many things since then. But yeah, she used to work at Southwest Marine, and she'd have to go into those big ships and climb in there, and she'd be coming home filthy dirty. She was a hard worker. But again, she just, I think had that mindset of something she wanted to do. She figured out a way to do it. I got that from her for sure.
That is awesome. Well, my mom, actually, she was a stay-at-home mom until my parents divorced. And then she was like, okay, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. So she started cleaning houses. She's like, I don't have any skills. I need to survive. And so I helped her. And then she went to beauty school.
She did.
And she cut hair for a long time. And then she decided she didn't want to always have to work weekends in that way and being in the same place at one time. And so she decided to get a real estate license. So she did that when I was in high school, and she's still doing it to this day. She's still working. But it's interesting, I think, how women I think when there's that whole, I got to feed my kids kind of thing, it drives you. It does drive you. And then you keep going, okay, well, now the next thing and the next thing. And, I think we really are resilient as women. And gosh, I think that is so cool that your mom was the first woman that was an electrician and graduated from the school. Like, what did your friends think? That is so neat.
I don't know. I think for me, it was so normal. Like, that's just kind of my mom was. She'd work on the car. She just, there was nothing she wouldn't at least attempt to do. And again, I think it was like, she had to do what she had to do to raise me and provide. And she wasn't afraid of that. So I think it was just so normal for me. I don't remember it being different, weird or anything. It was just normal.
So what are some lessons that you've learned that young women could learn and apply to their lives?
I think don't say no to opportunities, even if you're afraid. I know I mentioned this in the beginning, is that I was like, oh my God, I'm really scared. I've never done this before, this podcast. But, when you asked me, I was just like, at first, my first reaction was, no, I can't do it. I've never done it before. That's scary, but then I have to do that self-talk. And I just said, why not? Why not? Go for it. I can edit it.
Because there are going to be people that listen to this and they're going to be inspired by you. And they're going to say, I have a path. I can do this too. I mean, because we all feel like walking into something, oh, I don't know if I can do that. Mm-hmm. It's kind of hard. And I mean, I do a lot of public speaking. I remember the first time when I was at a microphone, I thought, oh no, I cannot do this. I cannot do this. Yeah. And every single time it gets easier. Yeah, every single time. And practice. I mean, I'm sure the first time you were cutting someone's hair, you were thinking, oh, wow, I could make a mistake and they could be very upset. I mean, luckily it will grow out and all of that. But still, I mean, there's a lot of pressure that first time we do anything. Mm-hmm. And I think,
and even the second time too, right? Right. Because I think it's just, like you said, I think the more you do it, the more confident you get. And then I think it allows you to try even other things outside of the box that even whether it's public speaking or starting a new business or whatever, it's like you have the drive. I think if you have the will, you have the way.
Right.
I know for sure.
Well, and trying new things and pushing outside of your comfort zone, I think, is so important, because then you find things that you might be passionate about that you never even knew. And I tell every group of young people that will listen to me that, you know what, try things. Nothing, obviously, that's going to be, unsafe physically for you. But, try things that are really uncomfortable, because truly, you don't even know what you're good at and what your calling is. When you're a kid, you just don't know. Think about this when you're 18.
Oh,
Did you know?
No, that's what I would never have chosen beauty school, ever. That was just not on my radar. But because my mom was very adamant about me doing something, luckily it was the right path for me. But I would have not normally chose that.
That's awesome. So what are you most passionate about? When you look at, what you've created, what really makes you go, wow, I'm so glad I did that. I'm so glad. Or that I'm so glad I'm doing it now.
Yeah. I get really excited about giving back to others and hopefully give them at least help them through their journey. Like, it's exciting to me to think that maybe somebody, will own a smooth bar at some point, and that is their passion, is that to always own a business, but maybe didn't know how to go about it or how to do it. And then we can pave that for them to get them into the industry and get them to be able to make money and do something that they're really passionate about, that maybe they were afraid to do from the very beginning or from the very start of it.
You're creating
opportunities. That's super exciting to me. Yeah.
That is. And, these people that are somehow thinking, I don't know if I can do it, you're making them an opportunity. So now they can. Yeah, I love that. So, okay, you're walking into a room. There's all these young women. They're looking at you. What advice would you give them for the next generation of young women leaders? What would you say?
Try new things, I think, for sure. Don't say no because of your fear. That's a big one. Take opportunities when they come.
And fear is pretty strong, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. And fear, we all have fear.
Well, I think as women too, we have a lot of critics, and the worst ones are us.
Yeah, for sure. I'm my worst enemy, definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And, I always think be kind too, because, there are so many women out there that don't want to encourage other women. I just don't really understand that, because, okay, what do you think about this? When you hear a message from a man that's encouraging you, and then you hear the very same message from a woman that's encouraging you, I don't know about you, but for me, hearing a woman say it to me makes me so much more flattered and encouraged by it, because I don't feel like there's any weird ulterior motive. And I know that all men don't have ulterior motives. I'm not saying it like that. But I feel like building up our sisters is so important.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. I'm always trying to give compliments and encouragement to everyone, but especially women, because I do think that we're hard on ourselves and on each other. A lot of cattiness and things.
Mean girl.
Mean girl.
I see a mean girl, I run.
Yeah, me too.
And if you want to try to trip me on my way out, well, I'll have something to say about that.
Exactly. Yeah. No, we definitely need more of that, lifting up for each other, for sure.
Definitely. So, you are starting the franchise. Tell me what that's going to look like maybe in the next year. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, we are actually starting the franchise hopefully definitely in the Texas area, believe it or not even in California. We just think that's a really good market for us. So we're going to be hitting that area within the year. And look out. Texas, here we go.
That's awesome. Stacey, thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for really your encouraging words. I really think that'll mean a lot to a lot of people.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now that was powerful. We hope you've been lifted and encouraged by today's inspiring voice. Always remember that life doesn't look exactly the same for each one of us. Never stop dreaming, striving, and thriving. In future episodes, we look forward to bringing you powerful stories from amazing women who learn how to lead in to challenges. Thank you for listening and being part of our community with CEO host Rebecca Jones.
You have been listening to a Cloudcast original. Local stories, local storytellers, local brands. Find more stories at cloudcast.us.